if we do seem scratched up and, well, maybe not you, but scratched up and dirty, we're trying to fix the clutch on the truck.
Doing man stuff today, weren't we?
Yeah, it didn't go well because we've now got to bleed the clutch system through with the new fluid in there. Anyway, moving on. So, on today's week of fucked up, how fucked up is fucked up.
There's a lot of crazy stuff happening this week.
There's a lot of crazy stuff's happened again this week. Wow, what happened there?
Wow, the lighting just flickering. It's not having it.
Well, let's have to leave it. You have to do some of the brightness.
That's it.
Anyway, yeah, so this week's headlines, Just Stop Oil back to ruining stuff. South Park replaces the cast, making it more diverse. Somerset Gimp is arrested and charged.
I love the Somerset
Gimp, yeah. Police officer lesbian is back in action. She's back in the news. Joe Biden's holiday home. Turns out he was paid with no tax. Being paid, or however you want to word it. And the motel migrant guy who's making the money behind the scenes is named. So let's start it off.
Yes.
Just Stop Oil.
Just Stop Oil.
Again.
Back in the news, haven't they?
Back in the news.
They've been hitting everywhere this week,
They've been
haven't
hitting
they?
everywhere. They've done sporting events.
I saw
religious events.
I don't know if it was Natural History
and
Museum,
historical events.
but I saw the one where they were spraying the dinosaur bones.
I think it was Natural History Museum.
I think it was Natural History Museum.
Yeah, so they're back out again with their fire extinguishers that have got like paint in them.
Orange paint.
Spray them. So, they're on the cool wall.
They were on the cool wall. It was never going to last. But...
So look forward to the not cool bit at the end.
Yep.
Just Stop Oil White. What's going on? Why are you picking on history?
Do you know what? I did think earlier in the week that if things do change and oil is abolished, whatever, we stop using it, it's not going to be because some guy glued his hand to the pavement. That's not going to stop it.
No, it's not. What is it? They keep saying they were on GBN, weren't they, the other day?
I don't know.
The guy was hosting them on GB News. It's true. Run for election. Run for Prime Minister. Run for your local MP. You want to change something, run for it. Going around spraying things, you're ruining people's events for one. We've gone on a nice day out. Let's go to the Natural History Museum. Oh, look, that T-Rex has been covered in orange paint. Kids crying. Mum, dad, mum, whatever we want to be. What ruined day that is for the child,
Yeah.
So
pretty shit. And they're not really making a difference. They're just pissing people off. We said this about 10 episodes ago. They're not helping, really. They're just annoying people.
And literally just checking them on the news. Just Stop Oil will slow march until we're arrested during next week's protests. So, next week, protests. So, yeah, it was a Natural History Museum to be confirmed. They did spray paint the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I'd like to know what the spray paint they're using, though.
Well, apparently...
Is it oil-based?
Apparently, I saw a video the other day of someone from Just Stop Oil saying the paint they use washes off.
Okay.
So I assume it's some kind of powder-based paint or something like that.
But if it's to wash off,
if
it's to wash off, what are they? What's it standing for?
Because I guess it's kind of ironic, isn't it, that they're spraying paint everywhere, which is supposed to be like, putting oil everywhere.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of ironic. Well, it's ironic either way. They either spray stuff that's permanent, and then they're also causing the damage, or they don't spray stuff that's permanent, and they're kind of just pretending to do what others are doing. So
but when
really making a statement.
When you protest, you're to protest to make change, correct?
That's what they're trying to do.
You're protest to inflict and to make change.
Yeah, they're trying to make change.
So, we've got a famous artist out there, Banksy, who's now been named. He puts his name everywhere, doesn't he? Everyone knows it's Banksy.
Yeah.
So when Stop Oil come run along and spray it with orange, and then it washes away, everyone would just look at that thing and go, that looks nice. Not go, oh, Just Stop Oil vandalised that.
Yeah.
But they don't know because it washed away.
I think like we said.
I get that they're not going to make damage, they're not going to do that because it's criminal charges, but you're not doing anything. You're actually not even backing yourself up.
They're just kind of annoying people, really, aren't they?
But just like for 5 minutes of your life, isn't it?
Oh, like I said, like spray painting the wall, gluing your hand to the pavement, that doesn't change the world.
No, it doesn't. We just cut it out and move you on.
Yeah, people just get sick of it, especially because they're annoying the majority of people who are trying to enjoy their lives. And those are the ones that they want on their side, but they're not getting them on the side.
We've spoke about it before, haven't we?
Yeah.
You're going around the vicious circle. We're going to continue to cover it because I think it's funny as anything. And to top it off, you actually can't look for the shirts anymore, can you?
No, and they'll look online. A lot of places are just refusing to
sell them now.
And search results, whatever.
And considering we went to Butlins not long ago, there was a lot of stag do's. There was a lot of people with just stop oil.
Yeah, there
stuff.
was.
I'd like to know, like, obviously, as a single person wearing one, they're going to think, oh, it's a mockery, it's a joke, like, ignore them. But there's like a whole stag do turn up. Are they going to get like nicked? Nope, not even that, you know. But you went and sprayed on historical things. I don't understand the spraying on the past if you're meant to be teaching us about the future because of the past.
Yeah, the Natural History Museum's a weird one as well, because I do get the link that, you know, dinosaurs, oil, essentially the same thing. You know, dinosaur bones and everything break down in the earth and become crude oil and all that sort of stuff. I get that. But the link between spraying actual dinosaur bones in the History Museum and just oil, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's like they're just grasping for straws at this point.
It is. It actually is. And if I'm smiling like you only want to see me smiling, it's because I'm looking at the next part of the article. But you're getting the wrong person on the side for a start. We're just going to literally go, do you know what, screw you, I'm going to go get a diesel powered.
I think most people are just annoyed at this point.
Yeah, annoyed. And to obviously top it off, we've just found out as well there are going to be further protests. So look forward to that.
Fantastic.
Everyone's going to be looking forward to that this week. So yeah, keep in tune for the next part, for the end, because we're going to be doing the call wall. And we'll see who gets moved.
As you can imagine, they might not be there.
They might not be there. Yes, two blacked out masked individuals with a just stop oil thing. Anyway, if there's any misleading information put at the bottom of the video, don't look into it because we're literally just talking about them.
That video was mental.
It's brilliant.
She's just going around like Rambo.
It's just spraying people.
She's just like, you can have some, you can have some, you can have some.
There's a guy who's just got his hands in his pocket up against the fence.
Just chilling out
sprayed.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's live.
It's live.
It's very good live, right? Because we don't have like a red light.
We need to get a little attachment.
As some of you may have seen over the weekend, lesbian Nana police officer, who's the police officer's nickname, we haven't given her that name, the internet has, so thanks to the internet, we need confetti for that one. Yes, she's been back in the news scene again, and as a lot of you may have seen, she has taken dramatic measures into her own hands by spraying a firearm, pepper spray, into obviously public members of the public. And if you actually watch the video, there's actually quite a couple of them that are actually just stuck in the way.
She goes mental. If you watch the video, there are quite a few people surrounding her. And I've seen a lot of people commenting saying, is she actually trying to keep the peace or is she trying to cause mayhem?
But it's excessive use of force.
She's going around, she's like, you can have some spray, you can have some spray. Yeah. People are trying to walk away and she's like, you're getting some.
It's excessive use of force, isn't it? So there's multiple ways that these constables are taught to deal with this situation. I understand what's going on, that obviously a police constable has been attacked or something, or they're trying to arrest something and deter the amount of people by him. But as you can see, all you can see, all the other officers are not actually getting their pepper sprays.
She's the only one doing it.
She's the only one deploying all this. She is clearly on a power trip.
She definitely got a little bit carried away.
She got very carried away with who she's spraying. It looks like that she's very overwhelmed and in a situation that she's not dealing with very well.
Yes, that is definitely
because you normally only spray the individuals that are. I think pepper spray is more of the type of America's way of a gun.
I think
that's our pepper spray.
When you watch the video, I think the sense you get is that she got overwhelmed by the amount of people around her.
Yes.
She wasn't really focusing on who was who. She was just spraying anyone she saw.
And she's spraying anyone that is around. But as there's a fella behind, which we'll upload the photo, who's got his hands in his pockets. He just gets sprayed as he's leaning over the fence. I mean, he's probably curious, as many people would be in the neighbourhood. What the bloody hell's going on? Look out your window and all that. You know, and these are in areas of. I mean, let's just not forget as well, this was the police constable that sprayed the autistic girl as well, who called her, said she had haircut like a lesbian man. You know, and...
It's not good, is it?
It's not looking good at all for her. We obviously need to see action come to this now, because this is the second time this constable's ended. Let's have a look at the video.
With the police as well. I mean, the one thing the police are taught to do, well, what we're told they're taught to do, is to de-escalate the situation. That's like 100%. The number one thing they're supposed to do.
Deter it. You know, let's calm everyone down. There's obviously a reason everyone's getting a bit hyped. There's obviously someone being arrested.
When you watch the video, she's the only one who wants to keep it going.
That's the guy who's just trying to mind his own business.
The first guy she sprays, I don't think he was even doing anything. He
wasn't a threat. He turned his back to her,
Is she going
I think it looks like we've got either a canine officer here or a firearms officer, but none of the other constables are. He's got pepper spray deployed, but he's not spraying anyone.
She's just going.
There's a couple with their coshes or asps out, batons, as we call them. That's back at the Persia police car. As we've said, it's obviously something's escalated in it, and they're obviously trying to gain control of the situation. But pepper spraying people is not going to gain control because people are then going to become very unaware of their surroundings. They're going to start fighting out.
And anyone else who's not been sprayed is going to start getting hyped up, and
they'll get it as well.
Out.
They'll get it as well because it doesn't just spray directly at that person.
Oh, no, it's a mist.
It's a mist. So any other poor standby, there's probably coppers that probably got some of it as well. So she's ended up in the news again. What's going to happen? I'd like to know because this has been over the weekend. I imagine the Home Office are going to have to make us.
I mean, the police aren't exactly haven't been in the best books over the last few years in the UK or the US.
No,
and when you see stuff like this, you see police on a total power trip just going mental. She's the only one who's looking like an aggressor.
Yeah, that's it.
Out of all the police and all the people there, she looks like the most aggressive one out of everyone.
And there's one other thing I want to touch on. Do you remember when police used to turn up wearing a hat? Where have all their hats gone?
No, they don't really wear hats.
They don't wear hats no more. Why?
I've never really noticed that, to be honest. They used to turn up at your door and take the hat off.
That's what I'm saying. Now they've gone to the cap. They used to have the pith helmet. So I've
never noticed that, to be honest.
So anyone that's a member of the police force, police service, I call it force anymore.
The police force.
Members remember watching that.
She was part of the police force.
That's Hot Fuzzy says that. Actually, it's police service, not police force anymore.
Tell you what she was doing. She was forcing pepper spray on people.
She was using excessive force on pepper spray on people. I mean, okay, but moving on. Moving on before we get stuck into it. You actually haven't seen these episodes, have you?
New South Park episodes.
South Park episodes.
No, I haven't seen the new South Park episodes yet. I want to see a clip. I've seen a few people talk about it on Twitter and such, about how they've...
Kenny's Asian.
I've heard how they've replaced Cartman with a black lady, and it's apparently a mockery of Disney.
You got to put this fight off as well, so that everyone knows what we're talking about. Just give us a minute, we're loading. We have very bad trouble with our internet today.
We'll skip ahead.
There we go. Kenny's Asian.
Oh my god.
So we got two black. Well, actually, that's probably black.
So
that's probably Asian.
Cartman is
Hispanic and
Indian, I think.
And Indian. Whatever. We've got many diversity now, but they're all female.
Many. Well, you got it, haven't you?
They're all female.
That's how you go.
The whole cast is female. So basically starts off with, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Go watch South Park. If you don't watch it anyway, I think you need to. South Park is one of those things now that has become I'm pissed off with that new movement. South Park make an episode, go watch it and have a laugh because you'll go, oh my god, it's so true.
Do you know what? I never actually used to like South Park when I was younger. When I very first watched it.
That's because it was down a Warren. Very strange thing.
When I was a young kid and I very first watched South Park, I must have been 10, 11, something like that. I was kind of like, what is this? This is like...
It was really badly animated as well.
Oh my god, this is kind of offensive. I don't know if I can get into this. But when you actually kind of watch it, you kind of realise how clever some of the episodes are.
That's it. So this episode launched on Friday, the 27th of October. It was on Paramount. I think it's always been Paramount, hasn't it?
They're on Paramount Plus.
Yes, Paramount Plus. It's on as well. And basically, it starts off with Eric Cartman having bad dreams, and obviously his mum's like, "Oh, what's the matter, sweetie poo?" You know, I think we're going to be replaced. I've got dreams we're going to be replaced. Anyway, he had a dream about going to school. He turns up and he's black, and goes to Stan and he's black, and Stan goes to Kenny. Kenny's Asian. It's basically a kick at the person who deals with Disney at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a kick at the whole market, not even just the marketing team, but the core of Disney, where they're trying to make everything so, I guess, so woke that it's almost laughable at this point.
Is it?
Like, have you actually watched The New Little Mermaid?
No, I haven't seen that.
So me and my lovely wife started watching it recently.
I didn't even know it was out.
It's on Disney Plus, and we started watching it, and I genuinely couldn't get over how ridiculous it all seemed, in the sense that even just the mermaids, right? It's kind of stupid because all of the mermaids and the king is Hispanic, his daughter is black, his other daughter is Asian, and like all of the mermaids, his daughters, he's Hispanic. He's a Hispanic merman, right? All of his like 5 or 6 daughters, they're all different ethnicities. But I'm like,
So he's adopted them.
But I'm like watching it, and I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then you get to the castle, Prince Eric, his mum's black, Prince Eric's white, and you're like, wait a minute. But then they've changed the story to say he was adopted. And I'm like, what?
Why are we adopting white people?
But I'm like, in the whole story, I'm like, why have they purposely changed the ethnicity of almost every character? But Sebastian the Crab, they kept him with a Jamaican accent. Isn't that offensive? You know what I mean?
I completely agree with you. I mean, it's getting a bit too far-fetched now. I mean, it wasn't ever about skin colour. It was about a little mermaid adventuring her way through the ocean.
But none of it made any sense at all. And as I was watching it, just keep watching it, you've got like a little like town of people that are around the castle where the prince lives and stuff. And every person that lives in the town or works in the castle is like a different ethnicity.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense because that's not how a sea works.
Well, it's got a bit... It's a bit like the other day. I've tried to watch Ahsoka. I've gone back to it 4 times now. It's my 4th time trying to rewatch it, and I am only 20 minutes into episode 2.
Oh, really?
I cannot, for the love of God, grip it at all.
Because of what? The story, or
not the story.
I assumed it wasn't the story. I was just sort of.
I haven't met a lead male role yet, apart from the Sith.
Oh,
and yet he is still a pawn to one of the
you're talking about Balin.
sisters, Night Sisters.
Balin's girl?
Yep.
Yes.
And Sabine has force powers now.
Yes. I did find one issue I had with Ahsoka.
You had to have midichlorians, but now apparently anyone can fucking force wield.
I looked into this the other day, apparently, and not originally, when they brought out the sequels, they said it's the midichlorians that give you the force powers, and only certain people have them. However, they have recently retconned this by saying that midichlorians live in every living thing.
Yeah.
So technically, anyone can be force sensitive.
It was living everything, as in like the rocks and.
Now I kind of like the fact
creatures.
that anyone can be force sensitive. However,
you got to use it right.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't have 2 main characters right now, Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yeah, I don't
force wielding.
I don't like the fact that they just suddenly are like, oh, they can wield the force now.
It's absolutely killed it for me.
One thing I did struggle with Ahsoka as well is that you have to have watched a lot of the animated series to know what's going on.
Yeah, no, you do. You're almost forced.
Because I've never seen the animated series.
No.
Right? So I was like...
No, you're missing a lot of references.
I was 2-3 episodes in and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Who is who? What is happening?
I mean, Ahsoka never actually was in the Revenge of the Sith at all. It turns out that the periods don't match up.
That bothered me, actually.
And something's going to I can see it happening. They're going to relaunch the Revenge of the Sith. And it's going to have snippets of Ahsoka. It is. They're going to do it because they did it with the originals. George Lucas, years later,
when they spliced
did reboots because of poor quality of CGI. He didn't have it back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I get that. I get that. He even stated that. He stated that when we make the later on films, when we have better technology, it'll be a lot more. Star Wars will be more Star Wars. He always said that. And he's done ads like he changed Jabba, everything like that. But
yeah.
They're in a minute. They're gonna chuck stuff into there, and you're gonna go, I don't remember watching that. And it's gonna be there, it's like when you go back and watch A New Hope. The cantina part, the cantina, doesn't have that song with that alien, and the same with Return of the Jedi. It doesn't have that dancing alien in the beginning with Boba Fett. It didn't have that. It wasn't that song anyway.
I don't mind some of it. However, it kind of gets to a point where it's like, when is it not even the same film?
This is it, and this is what's going to happen. I can see it's going to happen. Disney have taken over because they can. They bought it. They bought the franchise. They make some fantastic things. I mean, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff from over the years. I've been gifted and collected and everything like that. I mean, I've got whiskey glasses. I've got in there shampoo set. I've got a mug,
couple of Lego heads.
Might get Seb in later to take a photo and show it. I've got an original it's literally 1980s Darth Vader mug That is literally original. I've got the original Blu-rays as well. I haven't got. We used to have the VHS when I was a kid. We actually had the original VHS where it had the green front covers. They'd actually have like Luke and all that on the front. But it's getting to a point now we're starting to change the dialogue, change the way that everything works.
So you say that in Ahsoka, if you get further into the series, about episode 6, I believe it is.
I don't think I'll make it to that.
They do a load of flashbacks to stuff that never actually happened between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. They do a load of flashbacks that show Anakin and Ahsoka together, which, like, if you'd just seen the films, you wouldn't even know Ahsoka
wouldn't make
exists.
sense, would it? You'd have to have watched the animated series.
But she never really existed outside of the animated series.
No, I suppose that's right.
They did all these kind of weird flashbacks, and you're like, it just feels a bit weird because it's kind of like retconned in, just thrown in a little bit.
Well, this is it. This is where we're going down the line of what Disney has planned and what it's doing, and it feels as if with the new films, the reboots, don't watch it because they've got white people in it. Wait for ours to come out. And then when you watch Star Wars now, you've got to have watched Andor and other shit
I've never even seen
to make
Andor.
sense.
Have you watched Andor?
No, the last proper Star Wars thing that I watched was Mandalorian. I even had to turn that off at the end because it had, what's her name in it in the end?
Oh, Lizzo.
Yeah, I had to turn that off because you never had celebrities in these films back in the day. Now every bastard's on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
They're jumping in it, you know.
Mandalorian, I didn't mind. However, the one issue I've got at the moment with Disney anything is if it's not a new Star Wars show that comes out this month, it's a new Marvel show. And it's like, oh my God, can you slow the fuck down?
Yeah. It's like having a new iPhone every 6 to 8 months.
It's literally like every month there's another show coming out. And you're like, what? Why?
Well, they've even toned that down, haven't they? They've even ruined that because we don't have enough female leading roles. I mean, can we go back to like watching Kill Bill? That was female led. There's bloody loads out there. G.I. Jane. You know, like I'm talking old school films that have female led roles in it. I mean, even now we've got like a TV series which is like Special Forces, which are women, which makes.
I think that's called Lionesses, isn't it?
Yeah, makes no sense because they're not allowed to do that unless they're Israel. Yeah. Another thing that I'm going off subjects there. If you are in the US military now and you're between the age of 18 to 25, I believe it is, you can now be drafted to go to war. So, hooray! You join the army.
Fun
go to war now. But that's what we're trying to say. Like there are films out there that have got these lead roles, and you're saying that there isn't enough, or you're saying there's not enough black people in it. I mean, Star Wars, I will agree with you. Lando Calrissian was the only black man in the whole universe.
Yeah, Star Wars is a little bit whitewashed.
But back then, that's probably how it was. You know, but then you say that, but Darth Vader's voice was James Earl Jones. I mean, I know you didn't see him, but he had the black man's voice. That's what you want. George wanted a deep black man's voice.
Do you know what? I don't really care who plays who or who plays what.
100%.
However, if I go back to my...
I don't actually look at the skin colour when I go.
The thing is, I don't care what colour someone is or what... But the thing that bothers me is when it doesn't make any logical sense. Like when I was talking about Little Mermaid earlier.
Yeah, replacing it.
And King Trident, is that his name?
Oh, fuck knows.
Anyway, the King Man of the Sea. He's one ethnicity, and his like 5 daughters are all something else. And it's like, it doesn't even make any sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. And it's... You're recreating something.
But it's like they've done it just for the sake of it.
I mean, did they even show it in the cartoon?
What's that?
All the family in that.
I think they were in it, yeah.
Were they?
I think they were at the start, yeah.
It's been such a long time ago. But then it's like the Seven Dwarfs thing coming along, Snow White. I mean, I don't think it's called that now. Well, is it? It's probably like Sleeping Princess or something.
Yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Haven't they changed it to Snow White and something else? They can't say dwarves.
No, they're saying dwarves.
What did they change it to?
Small people, I don't know.
No, it's not even small people. It's like they've completely abolished the fact that they're ever short.
But I just don't know. So it's at the moment, South Park are on the right track with everything at the minute. They are literally, they did Andrew Tate.
I think sometimes South Park are the only ones that are brave enough to actually say something about it.
To fight up against it in Paramount, fair play to them, sticking by its side and airing it.
Well, I think if you're a company, any company like showing South Park, you just have to take it on the chin, don't you?
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like Fox, years ago with The Simpsons and then Family Guy and everything like that, Now, hence why I moved on to Comedy Central and stuff like that, and BBC 3 at 9, because it was like proper watershed times. But thanks to the internet now, we can watch anything during the day.
Yeah.
And it seems as if now that like they probably want to put a grip on that.
It's kind of funny that you
it's
have
a good thing that they're...
When you think about that you can now watch anything online you want. It kind of makes the whole watershed thing seem like pointless,
distant,
doesn't it?
Pointless, yeah.
Like an archaic technique.
YouTube being for one of them, you know.
It's only really because they had no way of policing it.
This is it. YouTube. You give YouTube to your child, you've got the whole internet in its hands there.
They do.
I know YouTube's protected before anyone gets onto it, but you can end up in the dark web.
However, I'd argue
you can end up with some real bad, seedy stuff.
I'd argue you'd never need the watershed now because you have things like you can only show videos to your kids that are child friendly.
You've got parental control.
With TV, you couldn't do that.
Exactly.
Whatever's on is on. So.
No, that's it, and that's why you had the watershed back then. It was 9 o'clock. They knew everyone was in bed by about 8, and the mum and dad were going to be up, you know, watching things. And don't care if I've offended anyone by just saying mum and dad, but it's hard to keep up, isn't it?
You've just got to say parents.
You got to think probably going to say that.
Yeah.
So probably class that as ownership.
Have we talked about the thing they do in hospitals now, where they can't say breastfeeding?
Oh
and stuff like that?
yeah. We had that.
Yeah.
As a family friend thing, don't we?
Yeah.
What they call it?
So apparently, you're not allowed to be called the mum anymore or the mother. You are the I think it's like the life giver or something like that. The funniest one for me is that the midwives aren't allowed to say, "Are you breastfeeding?" They have to say, "Are you chest feeding?"
Yeah, chest feeding.
Which I'm not going to lie, like even if you're a man, this is still the breast.
Everyone remembers Family Guy episode when he goes to breastfeed.
Yes.
Stewie.
What? And Stewie wakes up.
And Stewie wakes up,
and he's like, "Oh,
what the hell is this?" Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Please.
But the thing is, it's like that's still the breast of a man.
Exactly.
Like, that's still the breast. Like you can still call it breastfeeding because it's from the breast.
Exactly that, and that's what I'm saying. South Park seem to be the only one at the minute that are fighting for it.
South Park do seem to be the only ones actually. Although Family Guy trying to do a similar thing.
Family Guy do a similar thing, don't they?
But I think the problem with those ones saying anything is that they're We've had a friend join us. The problem with those is that because they're comedy shows, they're not to be taken seriously, but at the same time, that's the only reason why they can say it. So it's a bit of a catch-22.
100%. And it I think with the South Park episodes as well, a lot of people have identified with it is taking the piss out of us as well. It's taking the piss out of everyone.
Yeah.
It's literally taking the piss out of you
that's
as well.
the thing. It's not taking the piss out of the people that are actually
people that are doing it.
It's taking the piss out of the people, like, it's taking the piss out of Disney. It's taking the piss out of the people that kind of
pay for it and watch it, and people that push the agenda. You know, don't forget, it's like watching the boxing. You say the boxing's crap on pay-per-view. You're the one that paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, so it will only stop when we stop paying for it.
That's true.
I mean, I know Disney have lost like £900 million in the last couple of years from making films. Well, not pounds, maybe dollars. Keep at it. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Don't put it on. Don't pay for it. I think the last good film Disney probably did with anything that had any meaning to it was Soul.
Any substance.
It was Soul.
I quite like Soul, actually. I only watched that recently.
I mean,
I saw it a few months ago. I thought it was pretty good.
Some of the films they make these days now are literally for children and brain dead parents because
do you know what?
There's just no.
I think a lot of the films that Disney make now for children are the sort of films that are designed to be stuck on an iPad where the kid probably can't even hear it just to entertain them for a bit.
Yeah, no parent watching.
I think it's one of those that they're kind of made for iPad kids.
Because you used to, didn't you? You used to go with your mum and dad to the cinema and go and.
But if you put a film on, it was like an event. But I think now these films are pumped out because they're designed for iPad kids that just need to be distracted.
Money margin coming in as well.
It's just for kids that need to be distracted because their parents can't bother to deal with them, you know?
So Disney, nothing new. South Park, everything new. Go watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. If you don't like South Park, go watch it. Go have a look. Go have a laugh. Because the animations have got better since the 90s. Don't just think all about the ones when they did Saddam Hussein and Chef. You know, they have got new ones. I don't think Chef's around anymore either.
I think he died, didn't he?
He did die, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they kept that, honoured that.
Long live the memory of Chef.
Long live the memory. Whereas everything now is just AI and Beatles' new song coming out and everything like that. John Lennon, you know, like just technology now is just, I think it's going too far. So yeah, go check out South Park.
What was that one?
Oh yes, your Gimp man.
Oh yes,
your Gimp man.
The Gimp man. I fucking love this bloke. I mean,
it's been a while for him to get caught, didn't it?
He is technically a terror, so I shouldn't probably be a fan of him.
You shouldn't praise upon him, no.
But
he'll be glad to know he's got a fan.
But goddamn,
I admire your work.
The Somerset Gimp. This bloke is hilarious.
So, it turns out he was arrested. Do you know what he
Yes.
said when he was on the road?
No.
I use this for when I go mud walking, and I stood in the road because I wanted to get hit by the car and die. Nothing to do with the sexually harassing people at all.
Yes, apparently
He was found with 2 hoods as well.
One of the funniest things I read is the fact that he dressed up in this full gimp suit, head to toe, black leather gimp suit, right? And apparently he would get on the ground on all fours and run towards women like some sort of monster. Or he might.
I know it's not funny, but
I think he also did it backwards as well.
Yeah, he probably retreated like that as well.
So, I mean, obviously it's scary for the people who was doing
100%.
But this is possibly one of the stupidest scary things I've heard.
Well, it's the only thing that would happen in Britain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a British thing, isn't it? The Somerset Gimp.
You know, go to like Middle East, you get beheaded, stoned. Go to America, you get a school shooting, you get shot at.
Come over
here, Gimp man.
You get a middle-aged bloke in a gimp suit chasing you down a country lane.
I think he was a gardener as well.
I don't know what he was.
But yeah, he's been arrested. He's been sectioned. He's now being trialed under Section 4A of the Sexual Abuse Act. Yeah, he's really in trouble.
I saw photos of him coming out of. I don't think it was court, but it might have been the police station.
Well, it's taken him a couple of years to catch him.
Has he been going that long?
Yeah, he's been going that long. Yeah,
I thought he just started recently.
No. He's been going on for a couple of years. I remember this because he made it to the news, I think, just before COVID lockdowns. And I remember saying to a couple of work colleagues, and I was showing them, and they were absolutely made up by seeing this gimp.
Yeah.
But it must be a man thing.
As far as I'm aware...
He doesn't class it as a gimp suit.
No, as far as I'm aware from what I've seen and read, he's never actually attacked anyone.
No.
He just kind of shits people up a bit.
I mean, what's he doing? I mean, he must be doing things like Justin Trudeau or so. No, not Justin Trudeau.
Who are you talking about?
Who's that comedian we love in a minute? Matey Boy. Talking about the guy bent over and showed his asshole when he gets paid.
Oh, Theo Von.
Theo Von, right. Cut that bit out. That's fucking absolute brain fart.
Cut.
I don't know if he was like getting his aubergine out and all that.
I don't know what he was doing. He apparently, all I've read is he got in this gimp suit. He'd go down this country lane. He'd wait for people to be walking down, and he'd just chase them in the gimp suit on all fours like some sort of monster. I don't think if I saw that coming towards me, I could even take it seriously. But to be fair, he's quite a tall bloke as well. So if you're a woman on your own and you see this thing sprinting towards you, I'd probably shit myself as well. But I don't know. It's one of those, isn't it?
Villagers on their encounters with the Somerset Gimp.
Look at him.
For someone to have got a photo of him, though.
Also, I love the fact in the photo they've shown, he's literally just posing like so.
He stood right next to a car as well. But, I mean, these are sealed suits, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't think he can just pull things.
You can't get into one of those on your own, not easily. I don't know if
you must be using talcum powder.
Have you ever watched American Horror Story?
Yes.
So the first season of that, one of the guys who plays Tate in the show, he dresses up in a full gimp suit in one of the episodes. And when I looked into it, he apparently had to be lubed up from head to toe to get into the gimp suit. So this bloke must have taken him ages to get into this thing, or someone helped him. I don't know.
100%. And to be honest, you wouldn't believe that it was the man that was doing it.
Well, because it looks like a normal bloke.
Just looks like a normal bloke. Comes to your door. Hello, do you like your butcher's cut? You know. He had multiple hoods found on him.
Why did he have hoods on him though?
These are the masks that he wore.
Oh,
it's like he's Spider-Man.
Oh God.
So, claiming recovered from Joshua Hunt, 32, who confirmed in court that he was the masked man who had frightened drivers in the North Somerset.
Although, to be fair, thinking about it, the Spider-Man suit is a type of gimp suit. Spider-Man wears a gimp suit.
Here we go.
He does though, doesn't he? It's skin-tight latex
with a mask.
With a mask.
Is Spider-Man a gimp?
Spider-Man's a gimp.
So we had what was called the Somerset Spider-Man.
We had our own Spider-Man.
Wasn't that Western?
He was just a really shit Spider-Man.
I mean, I know we shouldn't laugh because people have been traumatised by this, and villagers. I mean, female villagers, probably male villagers, have probably felt they can't go out.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
But how has no one clocked this bloke and just knocked him out?
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Although
the the British person, the ambience of a drunk person from Britain would be all bang, knock them out.
Can you imagine some
Like,
absolute bloke, drunk bloke, being like, "Oh, it's the Gimp,"
whack, dragging him off home. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that's been allowed to go on for too long. I mean, let's find out for you how long he took.
Yeah, I thought this was a recent thing. I didn't realise he'd been doing this for many a moon.
Many a moon. For 4 years.
Doing it for 4 years.
He's been going on for 4 years.
Do you know what amazes me about that? It's the fact that he was doing it, like, he's consistently kept this up for 4 years.
And the police never caught him.
They must have
set up traps and everything.
He must have absolutely just loved doing it. Yeah, how did they catch him? Was it like a proper sting operation? Sting to catch the Somerset Gimp?
Do you reckon when they went to grab him, he like slipped out of their grip?
Like the greased up death guy from Family Guy.
Anyway, right, before we get too involved on him. So yeah, the Somerset Spider-Man has been caught. Now we're going to move across international waters.
International waters.
Is it international?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Moving over from the pond now, we're going to go to America. We're going to go to the US
Across
today.
the Atlantic.
Joe Biden. We are back in the White House, and something's come up this week. Joe Biden's holiday home.
We love talking about Joe Biden, don't we?
Joe
Bring up quite a
Biden's
bit.
holiday home. So how much is it? It's $3 million.
Yes.
How was it paid for?
Well, he bought it for $3 million, didn't
Bought
he?
it for $3 million. Turns out didn't pay any cash.
Bought it
tax on it.
Bought it in cash, didn't he?
So,
can you imagine buying a $3 million mansion for, like, in cash?
Do you reckon he knows where it is?
What, the house with the cash?
The house.
He doesn't know where anything is.
Do you reckon he forgot?
He doesn't even know his own name, does he?
I mean, $3 million in cash.
That's quite a chunk of change.
That is a lot of. Yeah, that's not £5 stored under your mattress over the years.
For someone who a lot of people think of as a public servant.
Public servant, trustworthy as well, considering that he's on the left wing side of the party. What will happen? Nothing, because obviously, as we know at the moment, presidents don't actually get charged.
Well, I mean,
presidents.
I don't think anything he's done is actually illegal. I think it just raises a few eyebrows morally.
Yeah.
Like, why is the president buying a $3 million
I mean,
mansion
I believe
cash?
that this was done setback. This hasn't been a new thing that he's done. Obviously, I think his advisors would have said, "Mr. President, sir, this I don't suggest doing."
Probably not a good idea.
But he probably forgot where he is. Probably didn't even know where the house keys are to it. But at the same time, this kind of comes out at the same time that his son's just been done for buying guns. He lied that he wasn't taking any drugs and everything like that, you know, as we bring up the speed on that. So at the same time, this is looking a little bit bad for the White House. I mean, we've got the dog, Commander at the minute, is biting everyone.
Commander the bitey boy.
Joe Biden's now got a holiday. I mean, what will happen with it? I mean, hopefully is it NSA?
The NSA?
Oh, no, RSI. Who are the guys that deal with that? They're like our HMRC.
Oh, I know. I can't think of it either. I know who you mean.
They're tax people.
Yes.
Hopefully they will get involved.
Oh, I can't think of it.
It's not the NSA. They tap your phone.
The National Security Agency.
Yeah, no, it's IRS.
IRS, that's the one.
So hopefully the federal body will get involved and deal with this. They'll probably just seize it and be like, look, the $3 million is going to go back into the taxpayer because they need that after he spent so much on war. Moving out of the White House.
How is Joe Biden still like? How is he a man in power? I mean, he's obviously not a man in power. He's obviously a puppet.
He's a puppet, isn't it? Yeah.
Like, he's the worst puppet to put up there.
The puppet masters. Yeah.
Like, apparently,
he was good once upon a time.
I was listening to something the other
Very
day,
good.
and they were saying that if Trump does run, which it seems likely that he may do, and apparently his party,
I don't think he will now.
his party are likely going to back him if they can. Somebody was saying, I was listening to a podcast, that Biden will likely get pushed forward to go again.
Yeah, he will. I don't think he'll run because nothing's been made clear yet. Because obviously they should be running now.
The man doesn't even know his own name half the time.
No, that's it.
Have you seen those interviews he does where he just goes off on a complete tangent and then he'll go to shake someone's hand, they're not even there?
That's it.
Those are the best ones.
From actual news, I don't think he's made it not 100% clear, but Donald Trump has said that he's going to go into electric exploration.
Electric exploration.
So like a bit like what Elon Musk has done with cars.
Can you imagine being Donald Trump at his age and thinking you could like still being that hungry and do new business?
I think it's a possibility that we might not see him take over the Iron Throne in the White House, the Oval Office. I think he made it clear at a rally that he may potentially not run for it. It's not 100% been confirmed because I still think he's a candidate, and that he's going to go down the line of electric vehicle manufacturing and everything like that, which actually isn't a bad idea considering he's had all of these indictments made against him. Not saying that people are saying he can still run from office in his prison. He'll never be in prison. You can't prisonate a president.
No,
I mean, his security service that worked for him, the security detail have made it clear that they would go down for him anyway. So they're going to have to house them as well.
Yeah.
You're going to have to house all of his party and everything like that as well. So the more looking candidate is Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
That's the more looking candidate for the Republicans that should be running. And he's actually not a big fan of Donald Trump at all.
No, I've heard
which
this
is
as well.
interesting. He thinks Donald Trump's bad for the name. What he's done, he's damaged the Republican elephant. He's damaged everything about it, you know, which is fair enough. You're going to get candidates that are going to think, bloody hell, like it's a bit like here with Nigel Farage at the minute and going on UK reform. You know, a lot of people might look at Nigel Farage and go, well, he was in UKIP and he fucked up Brexit. So for us, so this is what we're looking at. That's our way. So I think every time they ask Joe Biden as well, you run, he goes, what?
It's like, where am I?
So I think a lot of people are kind of like, in a way that he's not going to run, but it'd be someone else from their office, you know, someone else from their party is going to run.
I imagine so. I mean,
for a second term.
I can't even believe that Joe Biden's even still the president. Like, for fuck's sake, look at him.
One more year.
He doesn't even know where he is, though.
No, that's it. And I mean, I expect when the IRS ask him about the holiday home, he's going to go, "What holiday home?"
It's like, who are you? Where am I?
And we're going to jump on the bandwagon here with tinfoil hat.
Oh, tinfoil hat time.
You're going to have to do the photo as well.
Tinfoil hat.
Yeah, tinfoil hat. Haven't worn this in a while.
No.
Surprised it's still going. Look at Joe Biden's chin. It's not him. Yeah, there's a conspiracy theory out there that they believe that Joe Biden actually his face is constantly changing, not the fact that he's getting older and his face.
What people reckon? Someone's wearing a mask.
Most recent photos is his chin doesn't line up. His chin.
Oh, do you know what? I've seen the photo.
And then there's a puppeteer stood at the back of him.
I've seen the photo when it looks like he's got like a flap of skin.
Yeah,
and it looks like someone's wearing a mask. And the mask is like peeling away. I have seen that actually.
I mean.
Can you imagine if that was actually true? I mean, it's probably not, but can you imagine if
everyone's
that was
seen
true?
Star Wars, you know, like and Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure if they were going to have like a person done in makeup, they'd highlight the best.
Can you imagine if it was like proper Mission Impossible style? Pulls the mask off, completely different person underneath.
It's like Johnny English.
That'd be brilliant. I'd love it if that was real.
So yeah, we're not going to leave the White House. We're actually going to come back to the UK.
Be the man who's made a fortune off of the migrant crisis. Graham King's profits have soared to more than £60 million thanks to a government contract paying his company £3.5 million a day to have.
So there you go, you've heard it. This guy has made £60 million so far off of housing illegal immigrants. I'm not saying migrants because they're illegal immigrants.
Yeah, so
Graham
King was the man's name.
King
is the man's name.
Does it surprise you?
Not really.
That there was a person behind this profiting?
Not really. Apparently, yeah, he was making $3.5 million a day off government contracts housing these illegal immigrants, which is very interesting.
And when we say housing, we're going to say this to anyone that's outside the UK, we mean putting them in 4- and 5-star hotels. Taking the hotel off the map, people putting bin liners, bags, anything they can cover the hotel signs with, closed signs, shutting curtains, multiple security and fencing outside these places, temporary fencing, which has now become permanent in some places. In Wales especially, they've put concrete barriers and everything, and they've got full 24/7 foot patrolled security service with dogs protecting these places. They are housing illegal immigrants. And I'm not saying migrants because it's not migrants. Migrants is more of a left-wing term for these people. these are middle-aged and young men that are on their own that are apparently escaping asylum for being gay. Not true. They're escaping war. They should be fighting for their own country, as you and I would be made to.
It's an interesting one in the sense that they're illegal immigrants. I kind of get that that's not okay. But what are they kind of supposed to do once the illegal immigrants come over here? Like, once they catch an illegal immigrant, what would you think they would do at that point?
What do you think they'd do with the person?
And what do you think they should do at that point when they catch an illegal immigrant?
Put them back on a plane.
Like, send them back, right?
Yeah, send them back.
Which is weird because that's not really what they do.
No, we don't do that at all. We actually house them.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Why are they coming here?
Well, I imagine I understand in some circumstances where some of them are coming over to escape war. Say they're like elderly or whatever.
Yeah, elderly, I'd understand. Women and
However,
children, I'd understand.
If it's women and children or they're elderly, shouldn't we just have a better policy for letting people in like that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know
that there's better avenues for them to be able to come down.
Yeah,
instead of being forced.
And I know people are sort of saying, "Well, that's harsh," because then you're stopping the men coming over here. True, true. However, on the one hand, their war isn't necessarily our problem, but we're still willing to take people in who can't fight.
Problem is, you've said that the war isn't our problem. It once upon a time was. We were probably the ones that were in that war.
I just mean
destroyed it.
Any war.
And I know what you're saying because you weren't the one that was there. You weren't the one that was doing it.
I just mean any war, any war that we're not directly invested in right now. Then it's not necessarily our problem. Yet we're still willing. Like, personally, I'm still willing to say let people in who can't fight to help them.
The thing is, as well, they've probably travelled 4 to 5 safe zones before they've come to the UK. And what it is a lot of people are going to say this as well. It's France's fault. It's actually not. France have a law that if they get them, they can actually pick them up and piss them off over the borders.
Oh, right.
They actually have a law. They don't have to house them. There is a law in place, but they actually don't listen to it under the Geneva Convention, under the human rights laws and all that. They literally go, no, and literally push them out. And a lot of people have reported it to the UN and the saying, the I say, who's the famous comedian?
Which one?
The one. Remember the old guy who done superhero movie?
Oh, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen. That's one of his references.
Is it?
The
The
he goes on.
Oh, it is. Right. Yeah. Which film's that from?
I'm pretty sure it's a scary movie, isn't it, or something?
No, I think that's Naked Gun, isn't it?
Naked Gun or something.
I think it's Naked Gun.
But
anyway,
people have basically said that France have been doing what they're doing is illegal. They're not. They're doing what we would want people to do. We can't just turn the boat around because they've obviously got this far already and they've been through choppy waves and storms.
You can't just send them back out to sea. I get that.
Can't send them back out to sea. A lot of people say get our gunships out and start shooting them.
Well, you definitely can't do that.
Can't do that because then we're feeding the fish poorly. So we need to look at other ways of humane work. The more as we're going on into this lifestyle, we're becoming more like Elysium, I believe.
It's definitely a tricky one, though, isn't it?
Rich cats are going to eventually live up there. We're going to be down here.
Oh, yeah.
It's starting to look like that in this life already. And the way that it looks like is the elites, the ultras, as a lot of people call them. They don't care because they're not at where they are.
No.
So you got to remember all these people that are in the Member of Parliament in London, central London, that actually don't live there. They don't live anywhere in the capitals. They don't live anywhere near Dover. They actually live like in the Cotswolds and the Midlands. They live in very nice sheltered communities,
homes.
And these places are heavily locked up and guarded. So it's unfortunately it's the poor, it's the average worker that's going to have to start seeing this. And you can see the videos everywhere. They're massed marching immigrants down to roads and everything like that. And one of these people recently got stabbed by one of them, didn't they? They covered that up in the news until Nigel Farage leaked it. So, and this was happening way before COVID.
Yeah.
And Nigel Farage was anyone who was out keeping it covered to the point where I think he was going to get nicked or something.
I think it's quite a tricky one as well because I do agree you can't just send them back to a war-torn country.
No.
So that's where it gets difficult because then I don't know. What do you do at that point? What do you do?
Well, there's plenty of islands, surely, that are not inhabitable.
It does seem like it would
could just put them there.
I mean, I don't know the cost, but it does seem like it may make more sense for countries to be able to somehow come together and form, makeshift sort of communities where the people can go.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be more cost effective.
They'd say it's Gaza 0.2 though,
Like,
wouldn't they?
I guess so.
0.20.
Maybe.
You know, you're right. It is. You know,
I don't know how cost effective it would be.
I see in a lot of the comment section as well on Facebook, TikTok, and X, Twitter. I see a lot of people saying your British Empire ruined our homes, so you're getting what you deserve. No, our ancestors did, not us.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've never really understood the whole, like, you know, I hate this person because 200 years ago his great granddad was a horrible bastard. It's like, that doesn't even make sense.
You know, let's talk about Sikhs.
Mm.
In the 1800s, the British Empire removed the land of where the Sikhs lived, which has now become parts of India and everything like that. I don't see the Indians every day protesting and rallying about them having no land for them to stay on, because Sikhs have never really had that. They lived somewhere, and now they've split up, and their communities are everywhere around the world. We never see the Sikhs kick us in the back and stab us in the back and say to us, you know, you did this to us. You know, we deserve land because the British Empire removed us. You know, and that's where it's going to get down to the line of Palestinians and Israelis. It's the same with them. Israel was then given its land in the 1940s and 1950s because we felt that we had to give it to them. The world did as well, not just a couple of people. The world did, and the Middle East gave up a bit of land as well for them to do that. Obviously, they've built their wheels up. Conflict still goes on between that. Where these people are coming from, we understand there's been a lot of wars created. We've still got America still fighting in Syria. They're still firing missiles from their aircraft daily. They have daily airstrikes, you know, fighting ISIS and everything like that. You know, we completely understand that people are going to run from these war-torn countries. But where are the women and children? Where are they?
Probably dead, I would imagine.
This is the thing, but you would do anything to fight for your country at that point, wouldn't you, though? Because you would be like, I've got nothing left.
Although I guess in some cases, if the war's really not going your way, not much point in fighting if you're going to die, isn't there?
Well, no, you just end it, don't you? You don't go. Why would you want to go somewhere you don't know?
I don't know. I think I would. I think I'd go somewhere else.
I don't think I would.
If death was imminent.
I don't think I would. I think I'd probably watch it.
Just accept it.
Yeah, just accept it. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, it's a bit like zombie apocalypse, isn't it?
I do.
Why keep running when nothing's going to be left anyway?
In the zombie apocalypse, I have always said that if I was cornered by like 3 zombies, I'd just kill myself.
Just out it, grenade straight.
I think in zombie apocalypse, even if I'm cornered, I think in zombie apocalypse, I think I'd just kill myself.
But this is where it's going to. It's getting to the point now where it's. I mean, we didn't get done over by our own government. We got done over by a white Englishman. I think that's where this is really wrong. Is that a bloke actually profited off of this?
Yeah, I suppose that's not really ideal, is it? Although I think the thing is,
it's not like my dropshipping account, is it? I sell both side flags. You know?
I think the thing is where, you know, if you look at this guy, I think he epitomises every bloke you see down the pub on a Friday night. And I think the thing is that is most British average blokes.
The worst thing about it though is that
I think the thing what I'm trying to say is all those blokes you see down the pub, I
got the fingers in so many different pies.
But not just that. But the average bloke down the pub who just goes to work, come home, and go to the pub, they would all do that in a heartbeat if they had the opportunity.
All day long to make 3.5 million a day, 60 million pounds.
I think a lot of people would look the other way with their morals to make that sort of money.
100%. And what I wanted to say as well was the media's revealed his face. So,
although, do you think many people care?
I think a lot of people care.
Do you reckon?
Because a lot of the reason it's happened in Wales, if you see a lot of the protests, is the fact that a lot of these people are fighting daily with even the security guard, where they get pushed, punched and shoved, and then the police turn up and arrest the actual protesters instead of security guards. And a lot of people are fighting for that they don't want it in their village. They don't want it in the UK. They don't want them there. These were hotels, you know, like, it's quite weird really as well. You can spot the hotels.
I've never really seen one.
Because hotels should always have their lights on at night because they're always open.
Yeah.
And you go past these hotels in London and around the out of areas and they got their lights off.
That's weird.
It is strange.
What, as in all like the adornments outside and stuff?
Yeah.
All the signs.
But the lights are on in the back.
That's weird.
So everyone's there, and you can't confront the workers. The workers are not allowed to communicate with
Hmm.
you. Some of these places actually can't even get on the premises anymore. They've got security straight away approach you, which is very weird for a hotel
That is quite strange.
because you don't have security at hotels
Not
like
really,
that.
no.
The people that deal with the security are the people that run the hotel.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes you wonder where it all boils down to. Has he made the money through the taxpayer, or has he made the money through the premises?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way you look at it is he's probably been. I don't know how if you'd make money off the premises really, because the only real money I think he's probably making is the contract, right, from the
Yeah.
government. So I would assume what he's doing is using the minimum amount of that money possible to keep these hotels running and
Yeah.
pocketing the rest, right?
So that'd mean food, maintenance.
Yeah. So I imagine these hotels are probably in a bit of a shit state.
I think they would be. Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine they would.
There's been videos of tradesmen having to go fix things, and some tradesmen have actually refused. And there was a video actually of the Welsh going. A guy goes in and he goes, "Well done." He's refusing to have it. Get this man a tea and a Welsh cake. He literally, it's brilliant, and he literally refused because people were videoing him. I mean, is it worth it? Is it worth being in the public eye to be seen going into these premises and get fit? I mean, a lot of them are sneaking him in the back to fix like fire alarms, doors, and everything like that. I mean, these hotels have still got to be up and running. And then what people are saying is when it comes to the end of it, if it ever comes to an end, boycott these hotels. Don't go and use them. Don't give them any money. Don't go to them. And that's what a lot of these places have done. I mean, I showed the videos not long ago of the coach that was turning up with the migrants, and they actually someone delivered these concrete barriers so that only a fire engine could fit in there, not a coach.
Yeah.
So the coach was forced to park out on the road with all these migrants on it, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's a shame." Like the police were baffled because they're like, "How are we going to move these?"
Yeah.
And it was like they either hiring a company to move the concrete blocks, and because it looked like it was such a remote area, probably the company that would do it were probably the company that were hired to do it. So they'd probably say no. So it's a bit of a catch-22 now, isn't it? The public are managing to fight back slowly. The government can't go on like this for much longer. I mean, I know it's one of their promises, isn't it, with Conservative, is a deal with immigration. The immigration, we live in a crisis at the minute. Everything's a crisis.
Well, I think the problem is, though, a lot of, whether it's Labour, Conservative,
they're the ones that done it.
They all say things like, we're going to make a deal with immigration. What that deal entails, we won't fucking know until that.
It's paying 3.5 million a day for this guy to house him. So what actually turns out is the man stood on the podium. It's actually his party or the local MP of the area who's organised it through the council. So you literally live in a big fascist circle at the minute of who to blame, and then everyone's like, "We Tories out. Oh no, we don't want the Red Party," and it's like you don't want any of them.
No.
Let's put it that way. Let's start a revolution and actually get it back to the people. Let's do what the French do. But we won't do that because we're British. We're too polite.
We are too polite,
and we're too patient.
We just sit down, shut up, and
we literally do. We literally sit down, have a cup of tea, and don't do anything. We need to be a bit more like the French. Where are the farmers with their muck spreaders? Go and spray the members of Parliament. I mean, actually, you can't even get near them anymore. You can't actually get near the House of Commons.
No.
You physically can't get near it. You can't stop near the road. You'll be treated as a terrorist or anything like that now, I think the only one who can get away with it is taxi drivers. It's all red route, TFL, everything. There's concrete barriers everywhere. You couldn't actually get near it to spray shit at it. But somehow Just Stop Oil always managed to somehow do something.
Yeah, they seem to worm their way in there.
They always seem to worm their way in there. But I think that ends it this week.
Yeah, I think that's it.
We're going to move over to the cool wall now.
Yeah, we are. We're going to see who stays and who goes.
Who stays and who goes. So this week on the cool wall,
yes,
someone's being moved.
We're going to be moving some stuff around.
We haven't needed to print anyone out this week. I mean,
no,
I didn't really want to put Gimp Man on the wall.
I don't think he can go either side, really.
He can't go.
I mean, he is not.
There is no middle either.
I mean, he is not cool for being a perv.
No,
but we can't really put him on the cool wall.
Can't put that on
because perv.
Partners, I think, a bit strange.
Yeah, we can't put a Gimp on the cool wall. Sorry, mate.
So no, yes. Who's got to move, Sam?
Well, it's going to have to be the orange flag wavers, isn't it?
Just Stop Oil.
Just Stop Oil are going to have to go on the not cool wall with our friend Justin.
So let's just remember for any previous viewers that they were on the wall because they tried to stop a coach for the migrants.
They did.
Illegal immigrants.
Yes.
Get it right.
They did.
And I mean that to everyone as well. Stop saying woke words. Migrant. No such thing. A migrant is someone who's paid their way to come to this country to live better.
Because they've legally migrated.
Legally migrated.
Oh,
Illegal immigrant is
Right.
put right below
Put him
Justin.
right below Justin, I think.
Oh dear.
Because
So-
I've had enough of them.
Both of them, to be honest. Justin Trudeau is going to stay
Yes.
up there
I've had enough of Just
for this
Stop
week.
Oil and
So yeah,
Justin.
Just Stop Oil. You're back on the not cool wall.
And you're probably going to stay there for a
You're
while.
probably going to be there for a while actually now. You're only on there for once.